CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to cover. My phone is buzzing with people just reading the headlines and sending us information on what's going on. In our fine and fair community, I have their permission, like I always do, to relay it to you. I always ask before I pass along information here whether I can relay it to you or not. And that's how we get the scoops and the details and deal flow that we do. Like and share the show, viewers and listeners. Help us spread the gospel. We work hard for you. The only thing we ask in return is you like and share the show. And if you feel so inclined, comment on the program. Philip Dow in Scottsville, thank you kindly for joining us. We appreciate you watching the program. A lot I want to cover on the program. I want to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. The UVA Board of Visitors, its current state, is it currently in its most difficult position in the history of the school? Today is the August 15th deadline where State Senator Creigh has posed 46 questions to the rector and vice rector and said, you need to give me answers on these 46 questions by close of business today. Then, after we outed some of Creigh strategy on the Monday edition of the I Love CVille Show, he spoke less than 48 hours later to the Daily Progress and highlighted exactly what we said on Monday, and he even confirmed with the reporter at the Daily Progress that he's working in cahoots with previous board members and folks extremely close to the C-suite of the University of Virginia when asking the questions he did, 46 of them, of the rector and vice rector. The current board members, one of the most prestigious positions in all of the Commonwealth of Virginia, are they in the most unattainable, unwelcome, headwind-facing, challenge-facing position that a UVA BOV has ever been in. Judah Wickower and I will take both sides of that argument and ask you, the viewer and listener, your opinion on who is right. Also on today's program, I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, a new policy that's going to hit Charlottesville City Council, policy that will be on the dais and up for consideration in September. This policy will afford Charlottesville the opportunity, the luxury, the accountability, the willingness to take the possessions of the houseless and homeless who are potentially camping, living in areas that the city does not want the houseless or homeless to live within. So if the houseless or homeless are living on the downtown mall, and Charlottesville and City Hall and City Council has the idea that they want to clean up downtown Charlottesville, the most important 8 blocks in a roughly 300,000 person region, City Hall, City Council, the city manager, may actually confiscate the possessions of the homeless living downtown as a deterrent for them living in these storefronts, in these facades, in these, is the word vestibules?
Sure.
In these vestibules. We'll talk about that today. That is such a significant story. And I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener, if Natalie Olshan, Michael Payne, Brian Pinkston, Juan Diego Wayne, and Lloyd Snook have the balls to confiscate the possessions of the homeless and houseless in our community to clean up the streets of Charlottesville. That's a topic that is so dynamic, and we'll unpack it on today's show. We'll talk Tobey's pawn shop on Pantops. Tobey's, we learned this from Conan Owen, is consolidating on Rio Road. Tobey is a fantastic entrepreneur and businessman. He purchased real estate on Rio Road, and he's going to make a super magical pawn experience on Rio. And as a result of this real estate purchase, as a result of this consolidation, Tobey has decided to forego his position on Pantops. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Tobey's on Pantops, the former Hardee's restaurant, a place at one time where you could get delicious bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, a place at one time where you would question the sanitary and cleanliness of a fast food restaurant, but still found yourself ordering Carl's Jr. bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits from Hardee's through drive-thru, is for lease. Tobey's out on Pantops, now available at $11,000 per month, roughly. We'll talk about that on today's show. I also want to highlight on Market Street that institutional business, Brown's Lock and Safe. The building is for sale. As I learned from William McChesney, Brown's Lock and Safe is now appointment only. A curious business model when you're in the keying and lock and safe business to be appointment only. But the location, the headquarters on Market Street, is for sale. I've been in that building recently. Judah has been in that building recently. Mm-hmm. To say that building needs TLC is a complete understatement. Would you agree with that, Judah?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like...
Are you on the camera?
No.
I would say that building is borderline a teardown, but there's a bigger story to it. I'm not trying to throw shade on the building. It's not like the HVAC is super working, if at all. There's clearly been leaks all throughout that flat roof, and the upkeep of that building for an extended period of time has been forgotten, neglected. Judah was about to make the point. They were carving keys for people and basically using it as a check-in point for the guys that were going to go do work around Charlottesville, not Morrow County. So it did not have to be Class A.
They've also been there for how many decades?
Forever. So they didn't need it to be picture perfect.
Yeah, I mean, if the AC works.
One-shot me here, and then I'll come back to you. Mm-hmm. The real story is this. Brown's Lock and Safe building is for sale. That building is for sale right next to the Artful Lodger, Livery Stable, Posture Studio shopping center. That shopping center is part of the Jeff Levine project of building a Hilton family hotel in that spot. So if Jeff Levine is pursuing a hotel in the place currently, and he is, where the Artful Lodger, the Livery Stable, where Posture Studio is located, he's building a hotel there. Why would Jeff Levine not just purchase the Brown's Lock and Safe building next door and start doing some assemblage to build an even sexier, bigger, and more profitable hotel on the entry point of the downtown mall? I want to talk about that today, ladies and gentlemen. We have some data, courtesy of Real Talk with Keith Smith. Through August 15th of this year, year to date, 1,100 homes sold in the Charlottesville Area of Association of Realtors footprint. We'll break down those numbers on the program. Some of this data surprised me, and I follow it very closely. I want to remind the viewers and listeners that Professor Leidy Klotz will join us on the program on Tuesday. This is the UVA professor that's the author of, is it Subtract? Yeah. The book Subtract. This book and Professor Leidy Klotz is part of the foundation of a piece of commentary on this show that has caused the ire and the disdain of many of you viewers and listeners. And I am comfortable standing on this hill, and I am comfortable accepting the ire and disdain of you when I make this comment. We are now in a 60-hour work week community, Charlottesville. It's no longer a 40-hour work week. Housing, the median value of housing, if you want to purchase, higher than ever, $475,000. Median family household income, according to HUD, $125,800. Ladies and gentlemen, it's never been more expensive to buy a house. It's never been more expensive to live and have quality of life. It's never been more expensive to step outside and walk up and down Charlottesville and Albemarle County in Central Virginia than it is right now. That's why I think it's a 60-hour work week. When I make that comment, you guys cringe. Judah Wickower right now is furious and fuming and wants to rip my head off over here. We'll talk about that with Leidy Klotz on Tuesday, August 19th on the I Love CVille Show. I want to remind you, the viewer and listener, if you need office space anywhere in Central Virginia, send me a DM, send me an email, send me a phone call. We have plenty of it, and we can connect you from the $350 a month price point all the way up to $2,500, $3,000 a month, whatever your budget should entail. I also want to highlight Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, friends of the program, partners of the show. John Vermillion and the Vermillion family are 5 generations strong in Albemarle County. And their business, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, locally owned and operated and 3 generations strong. Online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. Fantastic website, if I do say so myself. And located physically with a brick and mortar on East High Street, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. This business keeping the Miller family swimming pool crystal clear blue. Let's welcome the distinguished, the dapper, the only man that I know that can wear an undershirt, a button-down shirt, denim pants, and hijacked gargoyle socks to his kneecaps in 100-degree heat while not sweating an iota of perspiration on his forehead or on his temples. Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
I mean, everybody keeps their business at 100 degrees, right?
Judah Wickower, ladies and gentlemen, as the late, great Stuart Scott said, cooler than the other side of the pillow. My friend, it's been a hell of a week of content. Which headline today intrigues you the most? Or, better yet, scatter shooting with Judah Wickower. Where would you like to begin?
I mean, there's so much. The BOV, whether or not the city will enact a policy to help take the homeless off the downtown mall. I think some good discussion is going to be had.
Put the first headline on screen. The UVA Board of Visitors. Mm-hmm. Do you want to set the stage of what we're going for with this topic? Why don't you do that? I like how you and I are so different with our lens and our viewpoint. Set the stage, Judah Wickower.
Well, after President Ryan retired from his office...
Retired?
At
Air
UVA,
quotes.
Well, he did retire.
Retired? Willingly or unwillingly? Let me ask you this. If you unwillingly retire, is that retiring?
No.
If you unwillingly retire, what's that called?
It's called getting fired.
Forced out. Okay, go ahead. He just moved out of Cars Hill. He posted on his Facebook page that he just moved out of Cars Hill. And you can tell in the commentary on Facebook of him moving out of Cars Hill, he acknowledged that he's been off social media for a while as he did an emotional reset. And in his commentary of moving out of the president's mansion, he laments moving out because of all the special memories he and his family have experienced and on Cars Hill in the president's mansion. Go ahead, Judah. I rudely interrupted as I so do many times. Mm-hmm.
So,
what was that, Judah? I just joking.
No comment. We'll see if there's no comment coming from the Board of Visitors soon. Apparently, Creigh Deeds has been in discussion with some people who clearly have a.
I know who those people are.
An inside track. You know who those people are.
Oh, I do.
Okay, and in response to the knowledge he's gained, he is, as you mentioned earlier, sent a letter of 46 questions to the rector and vice rector, who were not in those positions at the time of President Ryan's dismissal, retiration, and they seem to be in a can't win no matter what situation, as far as I can tell, because as the news has been reporting, if they don't reply, or this may have come from our.
This is directly from our source,
which
forced Creigh Deeds to speak to the media,
and that says. That side of it says that if they don't respond, they could be removed due to malfeasance or nonfeasance. However, if they do respond and are found to have been complicit in President Ryan's retirement, or if they are found to have not done enough to prevent his retirement,
or if they were found to backroom dealing or working in cahoots with the DOJ or anyone within or around the Trump administration on behalf or to encourage Jim Ryan's retirement.
Well, that would include being found to be complicit in his retirement.
That would be reason for
their dismissal due to either malfeasance or nonfeasance or both.
They are effed.
Why would you stay in that position?
They are effed.
Is it for the money? Is it for the clout?
It's definitely not for the money, dude. They are effed. Rachel Sheridan and Porter Wilkinson are in a, how would you describe this situation?
They're standing on a tiny little platform that you can only stand on with 1 foot, and on each side is a meat grinder ready to chew you up.
They are walking a plank on a pirate ship, a plank that is so rotted from seawater and inclement weather that every step Rachel Sheridan and Porter Wilkinson takes on this plank over a shark-infested ocean is a step that will lead the plank to crack and their bodies to fall and tumble into a sea of great white sharks. To say this situation is untenable is an understatement. And today, at close of business, is a deadline where State Senator Creigh Deeds has issued for Sheridan, the rector, and Wilkinson, the vice rector, to offer insight to 46 questions that Senator Creigh Deeds has authored in conjunction with previous board members and those very close to Jim Ryan and people in the know at the University of Virginia. He has put a roadmap so littered with landmines that even if you tippy-toe in ballerina shoes through this land-filled, dangerous...
I think the only out, and I think if Creigh Deeds already has, if not the exact answers, at least the idea of what the answers would be. The only out would
Creigh
be...
Deeds knows the answers to all these questions.
Yeah.
No.
And so the only out would be if they had absolutely no knowledge of what led up to President Ryan retiring. Since he's asking these questions, I doubt that's the case.
Right. The only reasonable or plausible path at this point is for Sheridan and Wilkinson to say, our attorneys have counseled us not to comment.
And I think they've pretty much said that.
That's all they're doing. Our attorneys have counseled us not to comment.
Yeah.
Wild time. Today's the deadline, and there's approximately 4 hours and 6 minutes left for Sheridan and Wilkinson to respond to 46 questions from State Senator Creigh Deeds, who is like a dog with a bone and will not back down from this.
Oh, definitely not.
I think the odds of Jim Ryan potentially being reappointed to president of the University of Virginia are realistic. I'm not saying it's greater than 50%, but it's certainly plausible and possible. I think Abigail Spanberger is going to nuclear bomb this board. And that leads us to the next headline that you should put on screen. Headline number 2. Is this the most damning position, the most frustrating position, the most aggravating position, the least welcoming position that any UVA Board of Visitor individual or team has been in the history of the university?
I think so.
You say yes.
Yeah. With the case of, who was it, Dragus and...
Helen Dragus, the Virginia Beach developer who was once the rector of the UVA board, who tried to do a backroom coup to oust Terry Sullivan over the university's move to digital classrooms and digital curriculum, Coursera. She got Sullivan ousted. Then Dragas was castrated of power when faculty unified and said, no, we won't teach unless Terry Sullivan is reinstated. And then we realized who had the true power, the faculty, not the Board of Visitors. And then Terry Sullivan goes back to Cars Hill.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In that case, there was a choice. And they made it. They reinstated Sullivan. What's the choice here?
I mean, the choice is the faculty does the same thing and gets Jim Ryan reinstated.
But he wasn't fired.
Was he not fired, you know?
Okay.
Did he resign under his own accord?
Okay, but it wasn't, whatever the case, it wasn't the Board of Visitors that forced him to resign. They may have done backroom dealing. They may have talked to Trump or his administration.
The DOJ attorney ties to the UVA Law School, multiple DOJ attorneys tied to UVA Law School, graduates of the UVA Law School.
What's your point?
There's just connections everywhere here.
Oh, I know, but the fact of the matter is that whoever the director and vice director were in contact with are most likely higher up than they are, and I don't believe the decision was theirs.
No, this is Glenn Youngkin's.
Okay.
This might even be higher than Glenn Youngkin's. This could go as high as Donald Trump.
So
this could literally go as high as Donald Trump.
right. So that leads me to the question: if you supposedly force the board of visitors to reinstate President Ryan, doesn't that bring all this back to right where we started? And the reason why ostensibly President Ryan stepped down because he didn't want the school to be affected by the
Federal funding cuts.
Yeah.
Great point. If Spanberger wins the governor's mansion, and she's looking like a clear-cut favorite to win, am I right?
Yeah.
Clear-cut favorite to win. Do you think she nuclear bombs this board?
Potentially, but that still doesn't change the fact of
Well,
somebody.
bear with me. So you say potentially. So you lean yes?
I mean, I don't know what power can the governor just.
Yes. Malfeasance is up is
on
a
the
basis
table now?
is on the table, just like it was with Bird
Okay,
Ellis.
but are we really talking about wiping the entire board?
Just need majority. Doesn't have to be an entire wipe. Just need majority. Majority appointment. Potentially she could do that, right? Bird Ellis, president, Glenn Youngkin.
Potentially,
At that point, if majority reinstates Jim Ryan, the conundrum you have is Donald Trump says you're not going to get this $300 to $400 million UVA. They have a yearly budget of over $5 billion, so we're talking like 6, 7, 8%.
Yeah.
Then Spanberger is going to have to meet with the heavy hitters and Jim Ryan and say we're going to have to fundraise this $300 to $400 million to make up for the budget shortfall. And if the campaign is Trump's not giving us $300 to $400 million in federal funding, and we need your help, they would get more than $300 to $400 million in federal funding.
I'm sure they would.
And immediately. Jim Ryan in that scenario is a man who can take the loaves and the fishes and feeds the thousands, and he can do it while walking on water, and he can do it while Mary Magdalene is watching his feet, and he can do it while losing his temper in the temple because folks were gambling and selling things with gold, buying things with gold coins.
Is that because his stepping down and placing himself, how do I put this?
And martyrdom?
Him martyring his position for the school has given him so much
Clout, influence,
so much
bulletproof vests,
credit that
Teflon Don,
that all past
transgressions will be forgiven.
Sins, but yeah.
Yes, exactly right. He gets a clean slate. And could, if he considers it this way, and Jim, I hope you're watching, could, if he thinks about it this way, rewrite his legacy.
Yeah.
As if he's flux capaciting in a DeLorean to the first day he started in office. Rewriting his legacy
I hope we don't see
without
him-
the sports almanac.
I hope we don't see him driving down Main Street going 88 miles per hour
without Biff World and Emmett Brown and Einstein the dog. What a story. And today's the deadline. Mm-hmm. We'll get off topic. We'll close this topic with this. Do Sheridan and Wilkinson offer answers to Creigh Deeds' 46 questions by close of business today?
Man. I'm guessing they probably will, but I just can't.
You say yes? Jeez,
I just
Louise.
can't get the image out of my mind of them going home to their families and being like, I can't do that right now. I've got homework from Senator Creigh Deeds.
They're going to say our attorneys have told us not to comment.
Take home test.
That's it. That's all they're going to say. And that may be enough.
Probably right.
That may be enough for malfeasance when Spamberger wins. Crazy. All while Jim Ryan is on sabbatical for a 14-month period at his $1 million plus presidential compensation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Plus.
Plus.
There are some extras in there too.
Bill McChesney, does Jim Ryan want to jump back into the firestorm? It seems he has a pretty sweet golden handshake. Would you jump into a firestorm? Bill McChesney, you have all the money. You have the money, you have the connections, you have the resources. But the one thing you're missing, if you're Jim Ryan, is legacy. His legacy currently is clouded. He has an opportunity to rewrite his legacy and go down in the history of the University of Virginia and in the history books of UVA as a reappointed president that went toe-to-toe with the most powerful man in the world and effing won. He could go toe-to-toe with the most powerful man in the world, Jim Ryan, and win. Mm-hmm. How many? Elon Musk didn't do that. Putin's not going to do that.
We don't know.
Is the Ukraine president going to do that? Is Jerome Powell going to do that? Jimbo Ryan did. Maybe. Next headline, what do you got?
New city policy.
All right. I want to spend 4 to 5 minutes on this. The chitter chatter we're hearing, and that chitter chatter is proven to be very accurate on this talk show, is 5 city councilors, Juan Diego Wade, Brian Pinkston, the mayor and vice mayor, Natalie Oshrin and Michael Payne and Lloyd Snook. Judah Wickower thinks Natalie Oshrin is going to be named the mayor in January. I think it's going to be Michael Payne. The more I think about this bet, the more I think Judah has a very good chance of winning. We have a bottle of scotch on the line, a 12-year-old bottle of Macallan on the line for this. I'm going Payne, the Payneinator. You're going Nat GBT, Natalie Oshrin. These 5 people in September, the chitter-chatter I'm hearing, have a piece of leverage to clean up downtown Charlottesville. And the leverage they have is called policy. And the policy that they can approve, vote yes or no, is, hey, you want to sleep on the downtown mall? That's fine. You want to sleep on the benches in the vestibules? You want to crap your pants next to the old Bank of America? You want to vomit and pee all over the storefronts of the downtown mall? That's fine. You want to drive business away from the most important 8 blocks in Charlottesville as if it was scurvy or the bubonic plague? That's fine. But we have the opportunity to take your possessions. We could take your possessions as a deterrent for you sleeping and patronizing the downtown mall. Ladies and gentlemen, if that policy gets in front of council, what does council do? Judah Wickower, we have that headline on screen?
Yep.
You're a good man. What does policy do? What does council do? Harold Hertz, y'all are so great to listen to. Keep on doing it. Thank you, Harold Hertz. We got print, radio, and television watching the program. And I count at least 7 elected officials watching the show right now. What does the downtown mall do, Judah Wickower? What does City Hall do? What does Sam Sanders do? What does City Council do?
To be honest, I can't see them touching that policy with a 10-foot pole.
Unbelievable. I disagree with you. Go ahead, explain why. Even the lunatics on Reddit are tired of the houseless causing safety concerns, sanitary concerns, and quality of life concerns on the downtown mall. Even the lunatics on Reddit are saying this.
I mean, some of those lunatics fall on both sides of the aisle.
Touche.
I don't know which ones you're talking about. It could be both.
The lunatics on Reddit are Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
They're not all.
Go
liberals.
ahead. I don't want to open that Pandora's box. Go ahead.
I can't see our city council touching this. Like,
Really?
how? How in what reality does our city council
Economic development, standing up for small business owners who are struggling to pay their bills, quality of life, tourism, safety, getting girls' nights to have cocktails back on the downtown mall like they once did before COVID, having children like ours not having to step over piles of poo or watching people shoot up H-bombs sitting next to the mud house, not having the glass storefront window busted at the mud house like it was a little while ago. I mean, I can continue if you would like me to. Not having the screaming guy walking up and down the 8 blocks, not getting shaken down. It's no longer do you have any change. The shakedown is do you have $10? How about all of the above?
Those are all great reasons. That doesn't mean I can see the city council members.
Then doesn't that make them spineless? And these are, one of them I call a friend. 3 of them I call associates. One of them hasn't given me the time of day.
When have we ever seen any appetite from the city council? And I'm not even necessarily talking about these specific 5 city council members. When have we ever seen an appetite from our city council to do something that would be so drastic as to
new zoning ordinance? Drastic and radical?
But that doesn't affect homeless people.
That affects cost of living, quality of life, the economy, housing.
Yeah, you can say that, but there's no. It's not like there's a. It's not like you can point to something and be like, "See, that's what this, this price increase or that."
All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to start this. Brian Pinkston, you are on your way out. You did not get reelected. Jen Fleischer is taking your seat. Brian Pinkston, you watch and listen to this program. You legitimately, Brian Pinkston, have nothing to lose. In September, when this comes across your desk on the dais and you vote no, we're not going to take the possessions, then Brian Pinkston, that's weak sauce. You are not going to serve on the dais anymore. Take the temperature of business owners on the downtown mall who are not just begging, who are not just imploring, but are screaming to clean up the mall. Brian Pinkston, you need to lead the charge. Lloyd Snook, you have limited time left in your second term. Lloyd Snook, you're north of 70 years old. This is part of your legacy, Lloyd Snook. There's 2 of 5. Do I think Natalie Oshrin's going to touch this? No, because she's so politically motivated and wants to climb the vertical political ladder. She knows not to touch this. I think Michael Payne has some political motivation to him too. So the swing vote is Juan Diego Wade. And my question is, does Juan Diego Wade have the cojones in September to say, we are going to clean up the mall with the removal of possessions from the house list?
And so you think he does?
It's going to come to him. Because Pinkston, you're on the way out, you got nothing to lose. Snook, there's no re-election coming here for a 3rd term. 70-plus years old. 70-plus years old. Mm-hmm. Okay? Juan Diego Wade's the swing vote. Oshrin and Payne, this is going to be their livelihood. Oshrin's future is not selling $500,000 a year weddings for Pippin Hill. And what's Michael Payne doing professionally? I'm not going to say anything I'm not supposed to because you always reprimand me. Judah, so I'm listening to you. I'm not going to say anything I'm not supposed to about Michael Payne. Okay. Wade's the swing vote. Wade's the swing.
And you're arguing that they're gonna go for this, so that means that you think that
when the loonies on Reddit say you need to clean it up, that says a lot to me. That's a temperature read for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a temperature read for me.
That's definitely
and that's going to be a hell of a story, dude. That's going to give us so much fodder on this talk show. So much fodder.
I think the other side of that coin is, guess who gets to do the what? Are we talking about? We're talking about confiscating their. do they do this while the homeless people are asleep?
Do they do this with the police, villainizing the police? Do they
Right.
do this
Well,
with
that's-
Parks and
well,
Rec, who has no real experience confiscating the possessions of the homeless?
Well, that's what I was going for. It's obviously going to be the police that get strapped with this.
Is Chief Kochis about to be put in a tough spot again by council and by City Hall, like he was the spot he was put in with Sandersville in the Market Street Park, where he had to
Well,
get the homeless out of the park?
I think he does the same thing. If he
What?
gets,
Take some pizzas to them and knock
What?
on their Coleman tent door? Hey, you can't sleep here anymore? Have some Vita Nova pepperoni pizza?
no.
Remember during Sandersville, the park, when the homeless took over the most noticeable park in all of the region? Market Street Park, Lee Park, Emancipation Park, Freedom Park, whatever the park's called? Remember when they took it over? There was legitimately the houseless that were living in the park that were doing news interviews with NBC 29. And they said it with the news interviews with NBC 29, we want the community to come get to know us. So we're going to have an open house at Freedom Park, at Market Park, at Emancipation Park, at Lee Park. We're going to have an open house. And at this open house, we're going to have brownies, we're going to have cookies, and we'll have Narcan for everyone to enjoy. That's what the guy said to NBC 29. We'll have brownies and cookies and Narcan for everyone to enjoy.
Good old Narcan cookies.
Good old Narcan.
So anyways.
Sandersville.
So anyways.
That's a true story. That literally happened. You know that happened. True story. Go ahead, Judah.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the police?
Kochis had to clean that up.
I know that.
He had to clean that up with his officers, including him, going door to door on those Coleman tents, rat-a-tat-tatting on those Coleman tent doors and saying, you can't sleep here, you got to be out by the end of the night. Oh, and here's some Vita Nova pizza for you to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's like how I do with our 3-year-old. Hey, you want cookies and cream ice cream at the end of the night? You better behave.
Kochis is a smart man.
He's extremely smart.
I think given
This is going to fall on him.
I think given an order like this, he would do absolutely nothing, and when he would wait until Sam Sanders made it an order, and then he would say, okay, you need to point to what you want us to confiscate, because I'm not going to send police roaming up and down the downtown mall to just toss random possessions into a
Dumpster.
downtown mall paddy wagon.
Jesus.
I mean, it's not like you're going to drive I guess you could drive a vehicle down the mall.
They
It's
do it
been
all the
done
time.
before.
We
But,
see it all the time at Parks and Rec.
But you need something with,
A dump truck.
Yeah.
It'd be a dump truck. Think of the optics of driving a
No,
dump truck.
They would not do that.
Okay.
They would not.
Think about the optics of that.
Confiscating is a very different animal than
Then throw it in a dump truck.
destroying someone's possessions.
This is bananas. And this comes from the executive orders that Trump is pushing through. Trump literally this week in the news saying, houseless and Washington, D.C., you're getting out now or you're going to feel the wrath of God. His words.
I know.
Okay? His executive orders now give jurisdictions the power to do this.
He's saying you're going to be far from D.C.
Right.
You need to go far from D.C.
Yeah. Another impact of Trump
where that is
impacting Charlottesville.
potentially
Federal Executive Institute, impact. Naming Albemarle County Public Schools and its DEI curriculum, impact.
Again,
Federal funding to get Jim Ryan canned, impact.
The fact that it's coming from Trump gives me even more fuel for the fact that the city council is not going to touch this.
Except the constituency wants downtown clean now. Even far left wants downtown clean now. Cleaning downtown has become a bipartisan issue.
I don't know if I believe that.
You don't think safety, security, cleanliness for downtown Charlottesville is a bipartisan issue?
It may be a bipartisan issue, but getting people to agree that this is the correct way to go about it, I do not see the two sides. I don't even see the left agreeing with the left about this or the right agreeing with the right.
I disagree.
I could see
Respectfully.
plenty of people on both sides that would see it from both angles.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
And that's what makes this talk show so great. I will close on this before we go to the next topic.
I mean, let me ask this question: do we think that confiscating their possessions is the best way to get them off the downtown mall?
I think it's a way of doing it. The other way is this: telling the soup kitchens not to serve food, taking away the electrical outlets that are on the downtown mall, the free electricity where cell phones are plugged in to charge, closing the public library where the houseless is getting out of inclement weather, the heat, the cold, and the rain while hanging out in the library, closing that down, right?
You haven't even mentioned the Haven yet.
Taking the Haven away and putting it somewhere else.
I would think that would be
Removing the people that they can shake
first
down for money. Taking away the free internet that the houseless are using all the time. You're not going to do any of that. This seems like the path of least friction. And I'm going to tell you right now, the haters of this show are going to immediately take everything that I'm saying out of context and say that I'm a DICK when it comes to the houseless. And I'm going to say that's absurd. I've said hand up instead of hand out all the time. I've said joint venture with Albemarle County and the city of Charlottesville, utilize taxpayer resources, do a JV, a joint venture, and create some kind of houseless campus where there's laundry, there's computer labs, where there's addiction counsel, where there's shelter, where there's beds. On a bus route, I was the biggest proponent ever of the Salvation Army conversion on Cherry Avenue. Guess what? Everybody wants a homeless shelter, a low-barrier homeless shelter, unless it's right next door. All of the Fifeville Neighborhood Association fought against this low-barrier shelter in the Salvation Army spot. Guess what? Nothing's materialized to that. Everyone's for helping the houseless, except when that shelter happens right next to your home and next to your kids and where they play.
literally the definition of not my backyard.
Definition, literally.
It's funny how that works when
Exactly.
When it's your backyard.
Bingo.
It's
called hypocrisy.
It's easy to point the finger and look down your nose at other people and call them NIMBYs, but when your backyard is threatened, watch
Hypocrisy. Pinkston starts with a yes vote. Snook realizes this is part of its legacy. Alshorn and Payne, who are politically motivated, say no. And Juan Diego Wade, it's going to come down to his cojones.
out. Okay.
Regardless, it's going to be phenomenal fodder for the show. Does a dump truck, led by either Charlottesville Parks and Rec or the Charlottesville Police Department, go from the Omni Hotel to the Pavilion with either Parks and Rec employees or police officers taking the possessions from the houseless and throwing it into the dump truck as if it was Sanford and Son?
They'd have to do that every day.
Sanford and Son was a junkyard, was it? Was it trash? Or was it a junkyard?
I don't remember. They'd have to do that every day.
Oh, you do that for a week and everything's done. You do that for a week and it's done. Literally a week and it's done. Next headline, what do you got? Was Sanford and Son a junkyard? I think it was a junkyard. Go ahead. That was before my time.
It's before mine as well. Tobey's.
All right. Interesting opportunity here. Conan Owen, let's give some loves to Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia, locally owned and operated by Conan Owen, the CEO and owner of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Conan Owen, if you have a logo and you need some kind of visibility for it, whether it's signage on your window decals on your window, a decal for your car. This banner that's directly behind me is a Sir Speedy special. They have pamphlets, direct mail, trifolds, stickers. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia, ladies and gentlemen, has you covered. Conan Owen broke the news on this talk show that Tobey's of Tobey's Pawn Shop purchased real estate on Rio Road. I think it was the old PhotoWorks building. PhotoWorks sold its business. Then Tobey bought the real estate that PhotoWorks was in. He's now, Tobey, who's a savvy and sophisticated businessman, he is now changing pawn for good. That's his tagline. It's a great tagline. And he is going to build an epicenter for pawn on Rio Road. And as a result of that transition and real estate purchase, Tobey is leaving his Pantops location, and it's now for lease. I found this interesting. The Tobey spot is 3,187 square feet. It's an old Hardee's location on Pantops. The rental rate is $39 per foot. That breaks down 39 times 3,187, to $124,293. You divide that by 12 months, you get $10,357. Rent, triple net, but that does not include, ladies and gentlemen, property expenses or building services. It does not include utilities. Rent on this spot is going to be flirting with $11,000 a month when this is all said and done. $11,000 a month when this is all said and done. But boy, oh boy, do you have a fantastic location.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, do you have a fantastic location. I think this particular location is tied to Tip Top Terry Vasalos.
Okay.
Tip Top Terry Vasalos owns a boatload of real estate, including a lot on the UVA corner and a lot around town. Pretty sure Tip Top Terry has this location as one of his trophy properties in his portfolio. This piece of property, how many cars go by this Tobey's every day on Pantops?
A lot.
Tens of thousands every day. Mm-hmm. The parking is plentiful, and it's set up for a restaurant with the drive-through. This is a nice little piece of property.
Yeah.
At about $11,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen. Nice little piece of property. Next headline, Judah Wickower. Oh, let's get to comments. Comments are coming in. This is a show where we encourage you, the viewer and listener, to offer comments. Judah, we're on point today, are we not? Sometimes you know when we're on point, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we know we're on point. John Blair. John Blair's photo on screen. Number 2 in the family. Love John Blair. Also got comments from number 1 in the family, Deep Throat. Let's go to John Blair first. Jerry, I'll offer you an interesting legal twist on the entire Board of Visitors situation. John Blair says, Virginia Code Section 23.1-1300 says that the governor can remove members for malfeasance and nonfeasance, and the governor is the sole judge of the sufficiency of the cause for removal. Here's the thing. This statute has never been changed. Article 3 of the Virginia Constitution requires a separation between the judicial and executive functions. It is not out of question that a Board of Visitor member could challenge the statute for being facially in opposition to the Virginia Constitution. Wow. I did not know that. John Blair, you're extremely intelligent. I did not know that. I will ask John this question, hypothetically, anyone this question. If that is the case, why did Burt Ellis not do that? Question for John, question for anybody else. And I don't doubt John's legal mind in any capacity. Why did Burt Ellis not do that then?
Interesting.
Burt Ellis said, I did nothing wrong. Burt Ellis said, the governor is smearing my reputation. Burt Ellis said, I'm not going to lie or say that I'm stepping down myself from the board because I don't want to step down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's because I'm too busy at work or because I'm sick. That would go against Jefferson's honor code at UVA. I'm not going to lie. He's forced the governor to remove him from the board for malfeasance. Why did Burt Ellis, if that is the case, John Blair just throwing it out there, why did he not challenge the statute for being facially in opposition to the Virginia Constitution? Conan Owens' photo on screen. He says the executive order gives them the power to do it, but they have the choice on how they clean up the area, the downtown mall. Totally up to their interpretation. I will say this, after today's talk show, this cleanup strategy, because I'm going to continue to emphasize it next week, and I have the newspaper, TV, and radio stations watching me right now, I will continue to emphasize the executive order and the cleanup strategy in downtown Charlottesville to it is 100% in the news and on the tip of everyone's tongue, which will put some pressure, perceived and actual, on council to do something. John Blair says, I cannot explain why Burt Ellis did not challenge it. I think there are so many stories in the background that we have no clue about. I think he's 100% right. If there's someone knowing Burt Ellis that would challenge the governor, would it not be a Burt Ellis?
I could see it being a Burt Ellis, but I could also see Burt Ellis being, of all the people on the Board of Visitors, Burt Ellis seems to me like he really, really, really does love UVA in Charlottesville.
And I think Burt also really, really does love himself.
Okay. But
And he was made to not look so great by the governor.
Yeah, but that I feel like that would give him ample reason to fight back. I think in this case he refused to lie about why he was leaving the board. But once the decision was made by the governor, he went along with it for if I had to guess, for just to do what's best for UVA.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No, because I think Bert Ellis thinks what was best for UVA was a complete reset of UVA, and he was leading that charge. I don't agree with that. Okay. Next headline, what do you got? And Sanford was a junk dealer. William McChesney has confirmed that for us. He was a junk dealer, Sanford, of Sanford & Son. Next headline, what do you got, Julica?
We have Browns also for sale.
Brown's Lock and Safe on Market Street is for sale.
Do we know? I would love to hear if somebody knows if they're moving. I mean, if it's for sale, obviously they know it's for sale. And
William McChesney, is Brown's moving to another location?
Perhaps they're...
Bill McChesney, is Brown's moving to another location? We should ask them. Let's ask them.
Perhaps they're...
We're in there to make copies of the keys for our rentals all the time.
Maybe their by appointment only is because they're going to be moving a lot of their stuff over the coming weeks, and they don't want someone to have to constantly be at the shop.
Great question. Do we know? Bill, do we know? We do know the building is for sale. There's a for sale sign in the window. What I find intriguing about this is it's adjacent to Jeff Levine's ownership of the Artful Lodger, Posture Studio, Livery Stable, Shopping Center. Mm-hmm. And as of a couple of months ago, the Common House was for sale. So if anybody wants to assemble parcels and properties, you got a boatload of upside there. And it would seem Jeff Levine would be the guy to do that assemblage. The Artful Lodger spot has so much upside. He's going to build a hotel in the shadows of the Omni. But what happens if you combine the Artful Lodger shopping center with the Brown spot and with Common House? Geez Louise, you would have one of the most significantly marquee positions in all of the region.
No doubt.
If you had Brown's, Common House, and the Artful Lodger shopping center, boy, oh boy, could you build something special there.
No doubt.
And that is a critical aspect of downtown because it's literally on Market Street as people are pulling into downtown Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm. It's the first thing.
It's the first thing you see.
The entrance to the downtown mall.
You could build the sexiest, fanciest, most expensive hotel experience. I'm talking something that downtown's never seen before.
Yeah.
It would kick the Omni's booty.
Yeah.
Unbelievable opportunity there. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. I mean, really, Common House in a lot of ways is a good shape. It would kind of convey.
Yeah, imagine if you could build around that.
Yeah, you
make
keep the Common House and you turn it into like a restaurant and bar associated with your hotel.
Yeah.
Holy doo-doo, there's upside there.
No doubt.
Unbelievable. Next headline, what do we got, Judah Wickower? Jack of all trades, jack of all wits. The only guy I've ever seen wear a button-down shirt, denim pants, an undershirt, and gargoyle socks jacked past his knees to his thighs in 100-degree heat without sweating
Actually,
a drop of perspiration.
my socks have a picture of Rhino with sunglasses, and it says chubby unicorn.
Juan Sarmiento says, a Tacos Gomez or La Michoacana Charlottesville mega location at the old Tobey's on Pantops? Forget about it. Juan Sarmiento. Jason Noble says that the rector and vice rector will answer Creigh Deeds' 46 questions like politicians. A non-answer answer from Jason Noble. Plead the fifth is what they will do. They are spineless and they won't touch it. in regards to city council and the executive order that allows jurisdictions the opportunity to potentially clean up the streets. Jason Noble, we love when you watch the program. Any other headlines do we have on screen? Or are we done?
Let's see. I think all we've got left is 1,101 homes.
So I'll throw this to you. Viewers and listeners, this is items that I learned from Real Talk from Keith Smith this morning. Through August 15th of this year, in the CAAR footprint, this is MLS data, 1,101 homes have been sold. Of those 1,101 homes that were correctly priced from the start, no price change before the sale, 824 fit that moniker. 824 of the 1,101 were homes that were correctly priced from the start and did not have a price cut. 315 homes sold over original list price, and 277 homes had their price reduced before sale. So there's been 1,101 homes sold in the CAAR footprint from January 1 to August 15th. Of that 1,101, 824 homes, which is 75% of sales, sold at their asking price. 315 of those homes, which is 29%, sold over asking price, and 25% of those homes, 277, sold at a price cut. And the takeaway from Real Talk with Keith Smith and the very dapper Keith Smith is price your home correctly out of the gate. Price your home correctly out of the gate. All right, that's the talk show. I thought we did a pretty good job this week. If you like the show, if the show makes you feel something, I don't even care if you agree with me or like the show, but if the show makes you feel something, tell somebody about the show. We don't care if you like the show, but if it makes you feel something, tell somebody about the show. Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 1:30 on the I Love CVille Network. Next Tuesday, Professor Leidy Klotz will join us, UVA professor. We'll talk 40-hour versus 60-hour week, Leidy Klotz. And I encourage you to reach out to me for any of your office space needs. A lot of people are doing it. We'll play matchmaker. Thank you kindly for joining us. Jerry Miller, Judah Wickower. Enjoy your weekend.